I've been making video games for around 4 years now, mainly on my own classic survival horror game, but it's always bugged me how long it's taken me to get to this point, having to learn how to make games, and good games at that, in addition to growing my skills from sculpting objects to texturing to level design. But I've always been adamant that if I was experienced enough and really put my mind to the test, I could create an ambitious and decently sized single player horror game within one single year. And that's what this video is all about. I am pledging to you that I will make and release a full length survival horror game on Halloween of 2024. This will not be an easy task, and I'm sure I'll run into a bunch of new issues that I'll need to overcome, but I truly believe that it's possible to achieve this target. So let me tell you a bit about the game, the plans I have for it, and how exactly I propose to finish the game in just 1 year. First of all, the game will be heavily inspired by the infamous Silent Hill franchise. I want to make a game that can honour the look and feel of those games, but with some of my own ideas. It's been a long time since I've played what I would consider a great, or at least good, Silent Hill game. The first 3 games in particular stand out the most for me, but I do have a soft spot for Origins on the PSP. This game I will be developing, however, will not use classic camera angles. It will not be a spiritual sequel to the original trilogy. Instead, it will be a more modern first-person experience. I always loved the direction Hideo Kojima was heading in with PT and Silent Hills. Just trying to imagine what Silent Hills would have looked like is open to massive debate. I'm not saying that I'm trying to create what would have been Silent Hills, but it's also a clear inspiration. The game won't solely rely on exploration and puzzle solving, there will be combat. I want to put more emphasis on melee combat with weapons such as baseball bats, lead pipes, wooden planks, knives, etc. There will also be firearms to collect, but they will be optional weapons that you'll need to seek out for yourself if you want that slight advantage over the horrors you will face. As for story, I have a rough draft already set up. I won't say too much on that as I'd like to keep away from some spoilers, but it involves the main character revisiting her childhood home after the death of her parents. This house holds a lot of painful memories as she wanders around from room to room, with visions of the past creeping up on her. The main mechanic for the game involves interacting with specific objects around the house which trigger flashbacks. These flashbacks, however, transport the player and character to dark versions of the past. Similar to the hell-like worlds of Silent Hill, the player will have to navigate through tormented locations in order to uncover the truth about her deep repressed trauma. You can expect a true survival horror experience from someone who has played all of the Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. I plan to make something that can live up to the expectations of the fans and survival horror enthusiasts. I want this game to stand tall beside all that came before it, and really make a statement that great survival horror games can still be made and enjoyed in this day and age. Making a game like this within 1 year will certainly not be easy. So why do I think it can be done? Well, the game engine I will be using will involve a creation tool on PlayStation called Dreams. If you've heard of Dreams before, then you know that it allows you to make your very own games and experiences with built-in tools that allow you to sculpt, paint, design, compose, and play. It's an all-in-one package that is so well put together and intertwined. All game engines have their pros and cons, but where I believe Dreams flourishes is in its ease of use and practicality. Game engines such as Unity or Unreal involve a lot of busy work to get what you need done. Dreams has a much more fluid workflow, and this is the main reason why I think it's possible to make a great game in just 1 year. As I mentioned earlier, it's not so simple as just picking up a controller and start making a game. You need to learn the tools, increase your experience, and grow your skills in order to reach a confident level that you can pull something like this off. I've been using Dreams and developing games for 4 years now, so I'm at a point where I feel very comfortable in what I can achieve. If I was to set this 1 year challenge on myself a few years ago, I'd probably hit a few roadblocks that would hinder my progress and my confidence that I could actually get it done. I'm at a point now where I feel like it's possible, and I want to prove that. It all comes down to how ambitious you want your games to be. You can easily make a game within a year or less, depending on the scope of the game itself. But the games I want to make are full experiences that you'd expect from games you'd purchase on the PlayStation Store. I'm setting a high bar for myself, not just about what Dreams is capable of. Some of you may be wondering how a game engine on a PlayStation could possibly compete with more professional engines such as Unity and Unreal. Like I mentioned, every game has its pros and cons, with Dream's main cons coming in the form of a lack of monetization, porting to other devices, no online multiplayer, and lower memory, which prevents open world games from being truly realised. But we are making a survival horror game. It's not open world, it's a single player experience. I'm okay with it being a PlayStation exclusive, as I don't have any other options at this time, and making money from this project is purely a bonus, with support through YouTube, Patreon, merchandise, etc. And the pros I hope will speak for themselves, with a fast workflow, great 3D graphics and lighting, and an overall polish that you just wouldn't expect from a solo indie developer. I feel as though, realistically, that big ambitious 3D games are a perfect home in Dreams, as they would become more of a nightmare to produce in other engines, even if given several years to make. The plan now is to get started on making the game, and update everyone at least once per month on the progress. I'll start out by designing the player character, the movements, the combat animations, the interactions with the world, the inventory, and the other UI elements. Simultaneously, I'll start to block out the house, as it will feature as the game's hub area between each of the various locations. Once that has been sorted, I can start to plot out the level design for each location, as well as their puzzle designs and enemy locations. After that, it will all come down to graphical polish and integrating all of the systems together to make the game playable. Most of the voice acting won't feature until much later in development, once events are more finalised. I'll probably release a few test builds throughout development for anyone who would like to test out the progress and give invaluable feedback. I'll also release a lot of development and gameplay footage here on the channel as well, so everyone can get involved even if you don't own a PlayStation or a copy of Dreams. So there you have it, my ambitious plans to make a Silent Hill inspired game within 1 year. It will release on Halloween of 2024, no matter the final outcome. I'm extremely excited to get started, and I hope this is the beginning to something truly special. Trying to live up to the Silent Hill name won't be easy, but I hope with your support we can make it through to the very end. Let's continue to make great games in the indie space and bring to life experiences which never would have existed otherwise. Stay subscribed to Little Big Animation for more updates on this project and everything else related to game dev and gaming. See you in the next video.